A massive hole in the football pitch. Cristiano Ronaldo, the UFC fighter, and Ronald Araujo, the basketball star. Why you shouldn't shake hands with Haaland, and the most embarrassing goalkeeping mistake you have ever seen. Despite all the magnitude and pressure of top-tier tournaments, football has its funny side too. And this is exactly what our today's video is going to be about. So get ready for watching. This is going to be amusing. But first we would like you to answer our question. Which one of these players once got sent off for his unusual goal celebration? He picked up a mask of his own face a fan had thrown to him and put it on. Marcelo, Neymar, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, Kylian Mbappé. Don't hesitate to drop a comment if you think you know the answer. And now, let's get into it. The Barcelona-Getafe La Liga opening fixture didn't really look like a football match, but rather like a comic show. Though the frustrated Xavi called it a disgrace, Ronald Araujo managed to make us smile that evening. Late in the first half, Gundogan passed the ball long to Araujo, and Ronald simply grabbed it with his hands all of a sudden. At first no one realized what had just happened, including Ronald himself, but then the player grabbed his head while the fans found his move incredibly funny. It seems like Giorgio Chiellini suddenly got possessed. The Juventus captain made a grimace and started flicking his tongue. And now look at Paulo Dybala's reaction. We suppose yours would be the same if you saw something like that. The job of a steward is quite a dangerous one. In the World Cup game between Argentina and Croatia, one of the stewards got extremely unlucky as after a poor cross, the ball landed right on his head. Now when Neymar has left PSG, his teammates will be missing this jolly fellow. Last summer he scored a brace in the Super Cup and then drew even more attention to himself at the awards ceremony. The Brazilian seemed to get bored and decided to hand medals to his teammates by himself. The girls who were meant to do that didn't seem to object. After all, why would they? Neymar was actually doing their job. If you see Cristiano Ronaldo holding a trophy and he's close to you, you'd better run. Here's how Cristiano underestimated the size and weight of the trophy and barely dropped it, hitting his son's face. Nothing happened to Cristiano Jr., but it was not the end of it, as a few moments later the trophy slipped away from Ronaldo's hands once again and hit Georgina. So our lesson is, don't come close to Cristiano when he's holding a trophy. What should you do when your opponent is wasting time by the sideline? Here's the answer. Look at this player grabbing his opponent's leg and kicking the ball away for a throw-in. The referee saw nothing wrong in the player's actions, so take note. Now you know how to deal with annoying time wasters. Another one to stay away from is Erling Haaland. Just look at these girls' reaction to Erling's high five. Was it some manufacturer's flaw? Does the cyborg need his settings changed? Toni Kroos has been playing in the same boots for 9 years. This pair of boots seems to have seen it all, but last season, Toni could have lost it as his laces got snagged by his opponent's laces. The tension barely tore his boots apart, but luckily for Toni and his opponent, it was alright in the end. The two players fell down on the pitch simultaneously, but managed to sort it out before long. Now to the most outrageous mistake ever made by a goalkeeper. We suggest you watch it without our commentary first, and then we'll talk about it. Our first reaction to that is best described as, what the hell? Well, the goalkeeper's actions are extremely hard to explain. She seemed to have completely lost her bearings for a while, and we have to admit that it looked quite ridiculous. What is more, it wasn't some friendly or a lower league game, as this story took place in the Women's French Cup round of 16. Spitting at the opponent is probably the dirtiest thing a footballer can do. But as for the Japanese Joel Fujita, he pretty much spat on himself once. However, it can happen to anyone, so let's proceed to the next story. And now to the wasted talent Mario Balotelli. The Italian felt thirsty and took a couple of drinks from the bottle, but suddenly spat it all out. We don't know exactly what was wrong about the liquid he drank, but we find its color a bit concerning. Gonzalo Higuain used to be the Argentina fans' worst nightmare, but today we'd like to give him a credit for his amazing assist. His opponent tried to make a clearance, but hit Higuain's face instead. Off his face, the ball bounced straight to Lionel Messi, who had only to keep it to beat, which, as you would expect, was a piece of cake for a player of his caliber. A hole in the football pitch. Yes, that actually happened in a match between Austria and Denmark. It all started before the actual kickoff, as power went out at the stadium. How long did it take to fix it? 10, 15, 30 minutes? 90. It took them an hour and a half to finally proceed to the game. But then shortly after the kickoff whistle, there came another problem. A sinkhole opened up in the center circle. One of the players decided to figure out how deep it was. Pretty deep, as you can see. The reason for that was a drainage line being damaged. All the water had flowed to one area, thus eroding the drainage gravel. If Ronald Araujo's dream was playing basketball, Cristiano Ronaldo must have been a martial arts fan. Just look at this UFC move the Portuguese performed in a match against Al Hilal. Unfortunately for him, the referee followed the letter of the law and Cristiano was shown a yellow card. And how do you like Jose Mourinho watching the game from the stands, surrounded by the fans? The special one once again dared to disagree with the ref's decision and got sent off. He still had no intention of leaving, so he found himself a free seat and went on with watching his team play. As for Leonardo Bonucci, it looks like his childhood dream was to become an actor. Just look at his dive against Palermo. That was so dramatic. However, it wasn't enough to convince the referee, as he immediately presented Bonucci with a yellow card for unsportsmanlike conduct. We don't know what was the problem between these two players, but they were incredibly eager to sort things out while chasing the ball. Unfortunately for them, they reached the goal line all too soon, bumped into an advertising board, and fell down on the pitch. Now to the most absurd own goal you've ever seen. The striker loped the keeper, but hit the bar. The defender seemed to be in total control, but came up with the most unexpected decision and smashed the ball into his own goal. Look at the striker's reaction. He didn't even see that, as he was too disappointed with his miss. The PSG newcomer Lee Kang-in must be happy with Neymar's move to Al Hilal, as the Brazilian would play jokes on him time and time again. At the training ground, in the bus, and on the bench. Just look at Neymar having fun with the Korean's hair. However, though it might seem that he didn't fancy that at all, Neymar and Lee actually got along quite well, as you could see them having a laugh together more than once. Like when Neymar was teaching the newcomer how to talk with the audience, or greeting the Japanese fans with Lee Kang-in's hand. Who do you recall when you hear the phrase worst ever goalkeeping? Many of you might recall Loris Karius and that very Champions League final against Real Madrid. However, we can assure you that it was nothing compared to Oliver Baumann's disaster of a game back in 2013. First, the German rushed out of goal, but tripped and went past both the ball and the striker, so the Hamburg player only needed to send the ball into the empty net. Early in the second half, Baumann rushed out to collect the ball after a cross, but dropped it, thus giving away yet another goal. That was his second mistake, just like Loris Karius helped Real Madrid score 2 goals in 2018. But here's why we're sure that Baumann's performance was even worse. Less than 15 minutes later, Oliver once again failed to collect the ball after a long shot, and once again a Hamburg player was there to punish him. Though we can't help but sympathize with the Freiburg keeper, his mistakes were absolutely ridiculous. Luckily for him, Oliver successfully managed to get over it, as he's been playing in the Bundesliga for 9 years already, currently at Hoffenheim. That was the end of our compilation of the most hilarious moments in football. Please let us know in the comments which one did you find the funniest, and if you would like us to make another video of this kind. Dear friends, feel free to subscribe to our channel and click the bell button if you enjoyed this video, as that will help its promotion and allow you to get a notification once our new video is out. That's it for today, but there's a bunch of other videos we have on our channel, so don't hesitate to check them out.